is First and Goal.
We're finally gonna score.
That's right. It's First and Goal here with your hosts, Jeremy, Joel, and Mo, covering today's biggest NFL headlines and our picks versus the spread. This is our first official show, so I'd like to welcome all of our viewers here so that we can hopefully have a fun experience. We've got a lot of stuff planned for you guys down the road, including the challenge coming up this fall during the 2021 season, but more on that later. Let's get right into things, guys. Championship weekend is upon us. It's been an up and down year for the league. Frankly, there was a time that I didn't think we were going to see much football. But the fact that these players, coaches, and staff were able to push through all the regulations and rules put in place without a significant drop in product quality, I think is pretty astounding. So kudos, hats off to them. Mo, this first one's for you. So neither of our teams, Vikings or Patriots, made the playoffs this year, but Joel's team did, thanks in big part to your former quarterback, Tom Brady.
You know what? Doing while you have them. Trust me. We had them for 20
years. We will, and we have.
Greatness.
Ironically, even though all three of us spent a lot of time here in the Tampa Bay area together, I'm the only one that still lives here. I can tell you both, though, that the buzz around his arrival and their subsequent run this season is very, very real. After 6 Super Bowl wins, what's it like, though, watching the GOAT take another team to the brink of a title?
You don't even know. It's almost something like as if I felt like it was going to happen. I literally felt like it was going to happen. His motivation, everything that he did, like the way he planned it, like you could tell he planned it from the get-go. Like he knew how he was going to leave. He knew the team that he wanted to go to, even though, it's granted Tampa Bay. Everyone talks about Tampa Bay, but you know what? Him being able to take the worst team in the entire league, historically, all right? We cannot even, we cannot even emphasize more of how they are the bottom of the barrel team, and he's brought them to, they are.
Well, they're not quite the Browns, but it's close.
Super Bowl.
And we have prior Super Bowl wins. I mean, there's some teams in the league that don't have it.
Bro, you guys have gone for almost 17 years since you've even come close to the playoffs.
Okay, how many years since the Vikings won a Super Bowl?
Easy.
Yeah, we're talking about one thing.
All right, so anyways. No, we had something very similar to that, though, in Minnesota, though. I think with Brett Favre in 2008, that was a jump from a division rival, though. So I don't think there were a lot of Packers that were cheering on the purple in the playoffs that year. But I'm just curious, are you able to root for him now that he's in another division, he's in another conference?
Yes. So the point that I'm going to make, number one, I'll say it right off the bat, is I was the one that made the mistake by saying, that it was Belichick. He was everything. He was like a lot of people up in Boston, bro. I'm not even the only one. A lot of people got mad at Brady for leaving, thinking that, he left us, screw him. I'm Team Belichick, blah, blah, blah. Well, you know what? Once again, Brady has prevailed. He's proven every freaking person.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that.
It is insane. The way this guy, all he does is and for me, it was if the Patriots were still going right now, and it was going to end up to be Belichick versus Brady, and it was Super Bowl Patriots versus Tampa Bay, obviously I'm going to be paid.
I was just going to say you're a liar. I thought you were going to say, bro, you're a GD liar.
No. I wouldn't have gone like that. I would have definitely stuck with the Patriots. Yeah. But if it's up to the what's going on right now, obviously I'm with the Patriots because I've always been a Tom Brady fan. So and on top of that, I did live in Tampa. Well, we all lived in the Tampa area. Sure. We're not necessarily from Tampa. Let's keep that. It's going around.
Yeah, I'm not.
Tampa, let us get in own little. But
I am not a Floridian.
Yeah. So in general, I do have my reasons for supporting the team as well because I did physically live in that area for 8 years. And I feel like as if that is also home to me as well. Anyways,
I feel similarly about Stephon Diggs this year. Diggs is similar in that I'm I don't necessarily blame him for wanting to leave, right? For forcing his way out of town as hey, I'm thinking about myself and my brand and my business first, on a very run heavy team. Do I think that they probably told him that before he inked up that big deal? Probably. He probably saw the writing on the wall, but as he started getting further and further in, went, oh man, this is not what I thought it was going to be, kind of deal. I want to be the top receiver. I want the most yards. I want the most receptions. I'm not going to get that here, right? I'm Robin to Batman, or I'm Batman to Superman, kind of deal with Thielen there. With that being said, even though he forced his way out of town, I think if the trade hadn't gone as well with Justin Jefferson, I think I would feel very differently about it, right? It's one of those rare NFL trades that both teams got exactly what they needed at that time. Buffalo got that number one receiver. Minnesota got a young receiver, shed some cap, got out from under that nightmare there, kind of deal. So I am rooting for him, going down the wire here. That good for you. I hope you get a title, kind of deal. I hope you get a ring. I wish it would have been here.
He's just solidifying who he is even more and more. Just
he's always going to have a special place in my heart with the Minneapolis Miracle, right? I mean, that's for me. That's going to stick in my head, regardless what he does in the rest of his career.
Sure,
right? Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, that's an all-time moment in Vikings franchise history. So,
we were there. Me and you.
I don't, but yeah. There's video of it there.
I remember the tears. That was one of those nights.
Oh yeah. So, Joel, your rooting interest is still in the hunt tomorrow. The alliance of Tom Brady and Bruce Arians has been a real hit. Big change this year, obviously, over a team that's not made the playoffs since 2007. Not won a playoff game since winning the Super Bowl in 2002. The defense has played lights out, finishing 6th overall, number one run defense, 4th in sacks, 4th in turnovers. But so much focus is given to that offense, and rightfully so. There's a lot of weapons to choose from.
Yeah.
I guess what this is all leading towards is how long until the team starts planning for the future. Tom's going to be 44 at the start of next season, and although he has said he wants to play for another 3 or 4 years, should the Bucs start looking at a quarterback of the future in this year's draft? I've never really been for taking top draft talent when your team is in a win-now type of situation or that win-now window. I also think there's a lot of teams that wish that they had taken an earlier look at their franchise quarterback sooner than they had. I don't think many of them have a 44-year-old starting quarterback you're one hit away from being over. Do you want to start over with a rookie quarterback? I wouldn't think so. How soon do they start looking at that quarterback?
I mean, if you look at how Brady came into the league, he was not the number one overall draft pick. He was 199th pick?
Seventh round draft pick. Yeah.
It was a while before he was even drafted. He wasn't even considered top, draft at that time. So I think if Brady, if he's planning to stay 3-4 years, I think his contract with Tampa is 2 years. So regardless what happens, they win the Super Bowl this season. I see Brady coming back, but the way that I feel that they should kind of look at things is from the Tom Brady perspective. Like, you don't need the number one draft pick. You find someone with the skill set, and the mentality that has the ability to play like Tom Brady. And while you have Tom Brady in your clutch, use that as to your advantage to have this new young quarterback, learn directly from Tom Brady. Like, look at the Favre-Rodgers scenario.
I'm so glad you say that. I was actually just going to use that as a counterpoint of what happens when Tom says, "It's not my job to be the teacher. That's your job. You teach him. My job is to go win Super Bowls."
I can see that, but I don't see that personality from Tom Brady. He's always been a role model in the league. There's really never been any negative news except for, the scandals with Belichick at the Patriots.
Just a few asterisks in there,
but more or less of
stand-up guy.
character.
Yeah.
As far as his character on and off the field, he's been a role model. He's not in trouble with the law, like some of these other guys are, or running off their mouth for no reason whatsoever. So I think, if he will, why not use that while we have him available?
Yeah, I agree. And there are plenty of starting quarterbacks when you look around this league. There are a lot of guys that are 4th round, 5th round, 6th round, undrafted guys that because of circumstance or injury. All right, well, regardless what Tampa Bay decides to do in the draft here, it's going to be a very different process than ever before. But more about that next in a piece that we like to call the modification, or simply put, the cancellation of this year's Combine in Indy is going to have more GMs and coaches scratching their heads than ever before. While there will still be pro days at college campuses, I think this is going to lose the core of what the Combine really is, which is competition, right? Imagine being quarterback number 1 that just stepped up and threw a laser down the field. You're the next guy up and you're getting ready to go, right? Every GM, every scout is looking at you and they just saw that throw. I think the question lies then, are you going to crumble under pressure, or are you going to step up and make a play, make a throw of your own? Right, and I think a lot of that is going to be lost as we move into these players' facilities, where you're getting the team friendly stopwatch, right? That 40 times speeds up just a little bit. It's our school's physicians that took a look at you. You're not going to get those official interviews, those official looks with the medical staff of those teams that you're normally getting at that combine. I think it's a lot easier to run these drills in your facility, your staff. It's your teammates running the drills, right? It's not a wide receiver that you're unaware of. It's not another guy who's trying to make a name for himself, so he's trying to make this spectacular catch. And let's not forget, we also have players that are coming off major injuries, right? You got guys that are coming off of injuries that, is this guy going to be able to play? Right, when I look at a guard like Wyatt Davis that gets hurt in the semifinals, the All-American guard for Ohio State, this is a guy that they're looking at potentially a top 15 pick. God knows how far this guy's going to fall. We're talking this might be end of day 2. He might fall even further than that because we have no idea. Is there nerve damage? Those types of things. When you combine that in with the kids that also sat out 2020 because of COVID, right? Let's not forget there were a lot of those. There were a lot of those guys too. I wonder how far are these guys going to fall? Are we going to see the Tom Brady's? Are we going to see the Adam Thielens? Are we going to see those guys? I know everybody talked about last year about how difficult free agency was, especially undrafted free agents, about, hey, if we didn't already have you in for the Super 16, chances are you're probably not coming in, because by the time we get you through COVID, by the time we get you through all the other testing we got to do, dude, we're already 2 weeks ahead of you, man. And if you're not up on the playbook, you're not going to make it. You got to go. Yeah. How far are these guys going to fall? Are some of these guys going to fall out of the draft? Are they even going to get a shot in free agency?
I think what we're going to have to see is that these young guys coming in, they're going to have to be more diligent in stuff, not just coming in and expecting a big paycheck. Like, we've seen this over the years. Like, you've got these number 1 draft picks back before they put the rookie cap on things. Guys coming in, number 1 draft pick, making millions of dollars, and they turn out to
overweight, unprepared.
Absolute bums.
Who is that? Like, you ask a bunch of young kids who Vince Young is, they may not even know who he is, because
even though he played the greatest college football game of all time.
Yeah. So I think it's going to put the pressure on these guys to make that conservative effort to put themselves out there. And we're going to see, I think we're going to see guys who normally won't get that opportunity is in that top 16, as you mentioned, Jeremy, that may have an opportunity to see some space in this year's draft, which to me would be awesome because I'm always rooting for the underdog.
Yeah, rooting for the underdog, the FCS kid, the Division II guy, the walk on that made it as a senior, and good for that guy.
Hey, why not even bringing in some NAIA? You know,
absolutely. Yeah, no, absolutely.
Because I mean, there's talent no matter what, everywhere. Every team has talent. Every college team has some sort of talent. So all these guys that are coming into the combine, they're talented, right? They're all talented, clearly, because I mean, you're not just going to be some average person just walking into a combine being asked to work out and practice and show out your skills. So you clearly have to have the skill to be able to be there. So what it is basically, like what you're saying, Jeremy, is are they going to excel that skill to show up to the point where, hey, the New England Patriots are going to be like, well, we need a freaking tight end. Hello?
Yeah.
Found ourselves the next Gronk. We found ourselves the next Kelsey, whatever it is, you know what I mean? Because that's what, typically a team like the Patriots always go for. Those kinds of guys, the Hernandez, those guys, those big.
Right. Kyle Pitts. Florida, Kyle Pitts, if he's still there, right?
Yeah.
I honestly, I put Tampa in that, I put New England in that quarterback class though, especially sitting there at 15. I think there's talking 5, maybe 6 quarterbacks going in the first round of this draft. So I think it's going to be
literally 3. Literally, they need 3 right off the bat.
Yeah.
Because that's the sad part about it. It's either, and the thing is, drafts are good, to an extent, but sometimes, like a team like the Patriots, a lot of the really high end New England, not high end, like more like the dynasty teams, always end up having either a backup quarterback that is quickly good, like the Jimmy Garoppolo that we pretty much wanted, that we wouldn't have mind having, not knowing that Brady did have the gas still, that the gas pedal has been going on. That's fine. Let's say, we went past him. At least you could have stuck by someone like Jimmy Garoppolo instead of going to Cam Newton where you knew he was the bottom of the barrel. Sorry to say, he was the bottom of the barrel, and you guys went for the bottom scraps, and that's not what a dynasty team does. Dynasty teams are teams that are of that kind of caliber, like San Francisco 49ers went from who to who?
Right.
Went from Montana to Young, right?
And I think a lot of times with franchises, there are certain ones that you look at that the quarterback carries such a abundance of value, right? Even as a trade piece, that if you take a guy that's, let's say you're taking a 5th, 6th, 7th round draft pick, and even if he's just a serviceable backup, right? You groom that guy for 2 or 3 years. Maybe he's a spot starter that now you got an asset that you could turn around and trade. Exactly. New England does a very good job of doing that. I mean, they typically bring in a quarterback about every 2 to 3 years for that draft. They're usually late round picks. They become serviceable backups, and they groom them up and send them off. Green Bay is another one. Mm-hmm. They bring in a quarterback every 2 to 3 years, groom them up, build some value in that draft pick, and turn around and move those assets. Where, as opposed to a situation like what Minnesota's been doing the last few years now, where we've got a quarterback at the top with Kirk Cousins that perhaps doesn't like that shadow, doesn't like that hot breath on his neck of the young and up-and-coming guy, right? And so they've brought in a lot of undrafted free agents. They've brought in a lot of guys that would be practice squad guys on other teams, right? But they've brought them in and went, Kirk's been Iron Man, it's fine, we can get by with it until Kirk gets abducted or Kirk gets injured, something happens, and then as bad as last year could have been, or before the turnaround, God help us if something would have happened, because statistically he still had a top 10 season.
I got a question for you. What would you prefer, Jeremy, for the Vikings to go straight to the draft, or to grab someone right off the right out of the MVP player, already ready to go?
Gun to my head. gun to my head, you told me I had to make a move right now to decide my quarterback for the next 3 years. I'm figuring out a way to unload Kirk Cousins' contract to a team like San Francisco for a late round pick. I'm going to eat the $25 million this year. I'm going to, in turn around, and I'm going to send a lot of that capital asset that we've got. I'm sending it to Houston. I'm bringing Deshaun Watson in. What I'm losing in draft capital and what I'm losing in salary cap, moving them, basically they offset one another. If you look at the numbers, the hard numbers, the two of them offset. By the time we get into year 3 of the contract, we are essentially into what would have been free Kirk Cousins years, or you have a 25, 26-year-old up-and-coming superstar. That's it. Put a gun to my head, that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, but I mean, you wouldn't. But that's the point. Wouldn't you rather have someone that's experienced?
I want a guy that's 25, 26. That's a future franchise quarterback. Problem is, 25, 26-year-old future franchise quarterbacks don't exist on the market every day.
Right. More practical, right?
Right. Exactly.
That's more practical. But then again, you have someone like you said, like you would say, someone like Tom Brady. You saw what Tom Brady's presence with the Patriots did with Garoppolo and set. Jacoby also did perfectly fine. I mean, he wasn't bad.
No, he performed very well down in Indy as a starter.
Went to the Colts, and he even did even decently with the Colts.
They re-signed him. Yeah, I think they re-signed him at least once.
So that just shows you when you have some sort of quarterback of that caliber. So imagine you bring someone like that into your team, and then you get a couple of guys from the college underneath him.
Right.
And let them look.
I completely agree. I'm in.
Those guys underneath them, they have to be comfortable being the backup. They have to be okay with that.
Yes.
You know, a lot of what you see with some of these younger guys is that they want to be the starter right away, and they're not satisfied sitting on the bench behind the
established starter. Yeah.
They get their asses beat every time. Those guys, they get their asses handed to them, and they realize it real quick how quick the defense is compared to college. Yeah. College defense is nothing compared to NFL defense.
Yeah. No, I agree. I'm definitely in the camp of you should be drafting a quarterback every 2 to 3 years to be a serviceable backup, and eventually as a trade asset. That's
every single 2 years.
You ever play Madden franchise with me? You'll know that I spend a 3rd or 4th round pick on a quarterback about every 2 years. I'm going to move that asset when he's got about a year or 2 left on that contract. So that's how you build. That's how you build a dynasty.
Yeah, that's how it's not even fun playing Madden against you anymore, Jeremy.
Yeah. You've never played Dynasty with me. You really wouldn't have fun there. So, next story up here. Patrick Mahomes announced yesterday afternoon that he is out of the NFL's concussion protocol and will be available to play on Sunday. Big win for Kansas City, obviously, and Chiefs fans everywhere. There was quite a few articles about the injury to the 2018 league MVP this week, though, from Brett Favre urging Patrick not to rush back because of his own concussion issues he's dealing with now, to even Colin Cowherd suggesting the AFC Championship should be postponed until he's healthy enough to play. Yeah. Have either of you guys seen a more meteoric rise of a superstar in this league or any other sports for that matter? I mean, we are literally talking about a guy that redshirted his rookie season, won an MVP the following year, was a Super Bowl the next year and won, and is about to host his 3rd home AFC Championship game this weekend. I've never seen someone come in and take over a sport quite like this guy has.
Nope. And, Mahomes is, from his character off the field, he carries himself as a leader. Every player on that team looks up to Mahomes. He is a leader on that team, and to have that ability to do that and lead them, that's why he is finding so much success within the league. It all starts right there with the quarterback.
Sure.
If you can't lead your team and bring them up, then you're not going to have as much great success.
Yeah.
As what Mahomes has done throughout the years, it's just, the 3 years that this is third year in the league.
This is his 4th year. This is his 4th year, right? Yeah, he redshirted the first year. Yeah.
Yeah. So to see as much success that he has had already is just astronomical, and I absolutely love it. I'm a huge fan of Mahomes. Even though
So is my son. Yeah.
he's a very humble guy, and he doesn't let the success get to his head. That is the pitfall and downfall of many great players is the success gets to their head and then they lose it. Mahomes has not let that happen. I foresee him continuing to break records throughout his long,
I'm scared
career in the NFL.
Honestly, because he's like that.
Yeah.
I think Kansas City really showed what you're talking about, Joel, about being a team player and knowing that he was going to be there for the team. He was not going to put them in a bad situation kind of deal, right? You're not going to do something that's going to I don't think you invest $500 million and 10 years into a guy unless you feel that way, right? Yep. I think Kansas City basically put up and shut up, put your money where your mouth is and went, okay, we're going to give this guy a $500 million contract to be the face of this city for the next, and now partial owner of the Royals. I mean, literally this guy owns the city of Kansas City and it is going to be idolized as a god there. It's unbelievable.
He has a lot more rings left in him too.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
I already see him getting another 3 or 4 rings.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I have no doubt he's going to chase Tom. Yeah.
The way he plays, and it's crazy because Tom Brady is just brains and he's attentive. He pays attention. Mm-hmm. He's very detail centric and oriented. You could tell, bro, just listening. The 20 years of hearing what Brady was. Forget about the TB12 method. Him just being the guy that would go into the locker room, right? Be at who was it? Like Troy Brown, a few of the old school back in the day guys. Even the guys more in the recent would talk about stories how they'd get to the gym at 6 in the morning or 5 in the morning, and Brady will walk past them and be like, "Oh, good afternoon. What are you doing? It's 3 in the morning, bro. You just gotta get, come on, bro. That's
soft, bro.
You're fucking soft, bro. What do you like? Come on, dude. You're here at 6.
Where you been, man? Take the day off?
They came 4 hours. We just finished beating the shit out of the Ravens on Sunday Night Football fucking 4 hours ago, and I'm already at the at the stadium studying friggin' film for the Jets already, and it's the Jets of all people, and you're already worried about them, but that's who he was. That's why he was so great, and I feel like Patrick Mahomes doesn't have that per se, but he has a little bit of that and a lot of the talent, dude. He has a lot of what Rodgers is missing out on, dude, because Rodgers, as talented as Aaron Rodgers is, because Patrick Mahomes is a team player, and that's what Belichick was. I mean, Brady was. He was very much a team player until the last 3 years of the falling out with Belichick.
Sure.
We can, go to that later.
It's a completely different argument.
Yeah, but in general, Patrick Mahomes has so much talent and so much brains that there's no way this kid cannot become very successful in this league.
No. I think it's going to be
gotta be an injury, God forbid.
I was just going to say it's an abduction or something off the field, some kind of God forbid, an accident of some kind off the field.
The whole thing that we were talking about with him, the protocol with the concussion and whatnot. I truly believe that they did go. They beat around the bush.
Oh, probably.
I think so too. I don't think
he can't play yet. I
don't think so, but
there's no freaking way that was no. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But I mean, we have to take them at their word. I just
hope that a lot better. I can tell you that. So I'm not complaining, but
I certainly for the last 4 years I have rested easier knowing that the Bears passed on him and instead took Mitchell Trubisky. I sleep a lot easier at night. I'll tell you that much, guys. If they had taken Deshaun or him, forget it, man. I think I'd be in Joel's shoes and I'd be a Bucs fan by now.
And my former team did not have much success.
Dude, I'm telling you, they might have the offensive rookie of the year, though. I mean, honestly, they did it. They did it right. They unloaded the older quarterback. They kept the core of the team. if you're not with an established veteran quarterback right now, the biggest advantage in pro sports right now is having a quarterback on a rookie contract. Yeah. It is the biggest advantage in sports right now, hands down.
That seems about right. I mean, because that's what you see a lot is you've got teams with the long-term prolific quarterbacks
who's taking up a third or a fourth of their. He's taking up a third or a fourth of their salary cap, so they've got to stay young and cheap everywhere else.
Or you've got some in the middle of the road, with some quarterbacks that have been in the league a few years that have some talent, but they're not necessarily up to that level as a Tom Brady or a Mahomes. Or you've got the first round rookie draft pick, and they're starting them from day one.
Yeah, because it's the biggest. And I agree with you there. Yeah, you get the middle of the road guys where you're going to go. This guy is going to manage the game for me. He's not going to win the game. He's not going to take over and win it single-handedly for me. I just need him enough. I need him to do enough to not lose it for us.
Yep.
Right?
And some of those quarterbacks, Fitzmagic is happy being in the middle of the pack there,
Why not?
Yeah.
I'm 38, 39, 40 years old. I'm playing in a kid's game, getting paid millions of dollars to be the backup.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Sign me up. Yeah, I'll be
that guy love doing it.
It's time for our main event.
Making picks? All right, guys, so time for our picks of the day for the championship weekend here. I've got Tampa at Green Bay. Spread is 3.5. Green Bay over under 52. Mo, who you got?
I definitely have Tampa.
Okay, so we got Tampa plus 3.5. You got the over or the under?
I'm going to go the over, dude.
We got the over at 52, Tampa, and over at 52.
Dude,
I'm honestly taking Tampa, but I'm going to take the under on that.
Okay.
They're in Green Bay. It's cold.
It is indeed.
Hopefully, Tom's blood hasn't thinned out too much being in that Tampa weather.
I think he's going to be fine. I think they'll be fine. Yeah. That's the thing. So I think it's just going to be a high-scoring game, and I truly think it's going to be a really high-scoring game.
Tampa's defense has been solid, as Jeremy said. They ranked number 6, and then Green Bay, they're a team that's it's like the NBA. Score, not so much defense.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to go the opposite on this, guys. I really, really like Tampa in this game, but I cannot go against Green Bay in Lambeau in the frozen tundra. I don't think that Tampa's defense is going to be ready for that cold. You head in there, and when you've got a two-headed beast like A.J. Dillon and Williams, they're going to pound the rock. I watched last week's game. I watched the Packers last week, and in my head I thought, I don't know how anyone's going to beat this team. The defense was playing lights out. They rushed for a little over 200 yards, and the play action was wide open for Brady. I mean, I'm telling you guys, he sat down, put together a puzzle, had himself a cup of tea. Yeah. I mean, he had all day back in the pocket. When you can run the ball like that, and that play action is opening up those lanes for you, it wasn't Hall of Fame level. I'm telling you, it was elite level.
Yeah.
I've got I've got Green Bay, and I'm taking the under. I think Green Bay is going to try and take the air out of the ball. I think they're going to try and run it, even against that number one run defense. I still think that Green Bay is going to try and run the ball and run the clock, keep it out of Tom's hands.
I mean, strategically, that's what they want to do.
Yep.
This is the time of the year where any given Sunday, so,
I feel like Brady will pick their defense apart. I mean, I'm not...
I have been watching a lot of clips of Any Given Sunday. Obviously, I've been working a lot of audio files, finding tackles, finding sound effects and stuff. I cannot tell you guys how many times I have listened to Al Pacino's speech in the playoff game at the end there. Oh, the inches the 6 inches in front of your face. Right? Oh my God, dude. I'm downstairs. Jamie's, are you crying? No, you're crying. I'm ready to run through the wall right now. Love that movie. Anyways, all right. For our second game, we've got Buffalo at KC. KC is a 2.5-point favorite. Over/under is 56 on this game.
Ooh,
we did discuss that Mahomes is back. It's a lot of points. It's a lot of points, guys. Joel, let's go with you first. Who do you got tonight? Who do you got tomorrow?
Got to go with KC. And I have to say under. I mean, 56, that's a lot of points.
It's a lot of points.
Yeah, it's just a lot of points. And it's again, they're in KC. It's cold here. So I don't know, that always kind of puts a little damper on it, sometimes. So
what do you got, Mo?
I'm going to have to definitely go under. And you know what? I'm going to flip the script because you know why? I feel like Mahomes is not going to be 100%. I feel like there's going to be a little bit of a problem. Yeah. And for some reason, I feel like as if the Bills are just destined to lose against Brady again, bro. It's destined. They're gonna sit there.
The Bills make it to the Super Bowl and have to face Tom Brady, dude. How do you
feel like of all fucking people, I have to fucking play Tom Brady again?
Oh my God, this guy!
I feel like that is the most beautiful narrative this year that we could ever get.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
And that's how the cookie crumbles my way. That's all.
We're also taking the under. I got Buffalo, guys. I got Buffalo, and I got Buffalo big. I think Buffalo is going to roll in this game.
It's cold in Buffalo. It's not going to be a difference.
You are not going to see the temperature change. Hell, it's going to feel balmy to them, right? They might be out there in short sleeves going, this is nice out here.
All right,
you guys know where I came from? You know where I just flew in from? I got the over on this. I got the over on this game.
Going over, eh?
Yeah, I got the over on this. I'm looking at this. I think Buffalo is going to get up early. I think Mahomes is going to make one hell of a mad dash to get them back into this late, and that's how we get our over. I'm thinking it's going to be something like 21-7 at halftime, and we see a mad dash from Mahomes trying to get back in this, and we get to a shootout in the second half. I'm hoping, right? That's good football. That's good watching.
Yeah. Oh yeah. If anything, just want to see some good
games. Good games. I don't want any blowouts tomorrow.
Yeah,
definitely no blowouts.
Yeah. Nope, no blowouts. All right. So, all right, guys.
Well, Jeremy, you might see some.
Yeah, that's true. I might. Anybody want any grease on the game? I really like Buffalo at 2.5. Joel, I know you took the other side. You do 20?
I'll take that.
You do 20?
Yeah.
All right, we got 20 there. All right, 20 there, and how about Green Bay? Who wants? You both took Tampa.
I know.
You both took Tampa. Who wants to?
Taking Green Bay.
I'll take Green Bay.
You taking Green Bay?
I'll take Green Bay.
Mo, do you want this opportunity, or
I'll take it.
Okay.
Oh, that's fine. I'll take bets from both of you.
Okay.
I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. There it is, guys. Those are our first official bets on First and Goal.
Money.
Great. Now I have to go back and do. Now I got to go back and do more editing so I can add that in later.
Oh.
Yeah. I got to do enough.
You got to put in pink.
Yeah. Now I have to put that in. Yeah. Thanks a lot, Joel. You just added another 5 minutes of editing to my night. All right. Well, thanks everybody for joining. Hope you had as much fun as we did. Make sure to hit like and subscribe below. Click the link below for our Facebook page. And from everyone here at First and Goal.
You don't score until you score. Till you score. That's right, baby!